up, everybody? It's your girl Sofia, aka Sophie, back here on Sophia's Football Talk for a short but sweet, another match reaction after, doing a watch along for Real Madrid versus Man United in yet another preseason game in the US. This time, I believe it was in Houston, Texas. Andre Onana's debut. Well, we lost 2-0. We lost 2-0. We weren't able to score. There's some talking points that we do need to address. Some would say a lot of stuff that makes it very clear that we still have some way to go. We got gassed in the beginning of some of the other preseason games and whatnot, Arsenal game and whatnot, of course. But there's also other positives that we can take away from this game. So we'll talk about it. Make sure, though, before we do, that you give this video here a big thumbs up. And of course, also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're not that far away from 2K subscribers. Feel free to join the SFT membership as well. Just another way to support the channel by getting a badge next to your name, customized emojis that you can use. Once we get more members in, we'll start to do more so sneak peek into upcoming content as well as behind the scenes stuff. So link is in the description box. Feel free to support. But yeah, so let's talk about it. Obviously, I mean, this game we had the heavy hitters. We had, if we're going to compare it to yesterday's game where we played Wrexham, we had all of the academy players, the under 23 or the under 19 and whatnot, if you will, right? And we had the only senior player, Johnny Evans, in that game. We did lose, what, 3-1 in that game, but this one was more so the one which we were really looking at. Onana with his debut, Vinny versus Wan-Bissaka and whatnot. And I do need to point out Wan-Bissaka for me, man of the match. 100% man of the match. If it comes to like Man United players, man of the match. For the first half that he was playing, he was good. There was maybe one or two moments where I felt like, ooh, a little bit shaky. But overall, very good with progressing the ball forward. He has improved so much since the World Cup. Like when he got an opportunity after basically having a Dallo, being so good up until the World Cup, and then he got injured. And then Wan-Bissaka was like, "Hold my beer. I'm gonna go. No, no, no. Hold my spider web because they call him the spider." Hold my spider web, or let me refill my spider web because I need to go and take this opportunity. And he never looked back. At this point, it almost looks like he could be more so that number one choice for the right back position potentially ahead of Dallo, maybe. I believe he got another extension on his contract potentially, but he'll probably leave at some point. But that's either here or there. Regardless, I digress. He was definitely a good talking point. Onana, who, obviously, before we talk about the first goal, the big definitely other talking point is the fact that Camavinga who did start in the game. Another good game was able to start. It was just very, at least good to see for him to get, another opportunity to play the game and whatnot after balling out against Arsenal the other day and also in the other games during this preseason and whatnot. But obviously, had to go out due to an injury within the first 3 minutes of the game, which definitely, in a way, maybe set the precedent for the rest of the game because something was not clicking in that midfield. So when we did have 10 men and he had to go out while Eriksen was warming up, we conceded the first goal, which we presumed was an offside goal, but later found out maybe it wasn't really. But something wasn't clicking. The defense, I don't know what we were doing, what we were smoking within that, but the fact that Jude Bellingham over here was able to just score like chip a goal over like that, over Onana's head. Like I do feel like Onana could have done better, communicated, but I also do think that the defense could have communicated properly as well. Like y'all need to communicate with each other, right? But the other one, the other goal, you can't even like. What are you gonna do? The reason why I have the picture of Joselu here was the new striker for Real Madrid came in the second half. He scored a wonderful, what I like to call a bicycle kick more so a overhead kick. Wow, wow, wow. Onana was like, "How am I gonna save that? Could he have done something? I think he could have. I don't know, but I don't understand why some of our defenders weren't like. Where were our defensive line? Why weren't people positioned correctly? And it's very clear once again, we freaking need a striker. Lord have mercy, we are deprived. We are screaming for a striker within this team. We've tried, James Sancho in that false nine, even though in this first half you had Rashford as a striker. I don't want to see that again. Rashford as striker, no. He's also been very vocal about himself being so much more comfortable on the left. The guy's way better on the left. Yes, Ganacho came in. I mean, started off on the left and whatnot. Had some good moments at the end, but I prefer having Rashford on the left, and then when needs be, you bring Garnacho on as a substitute. Um, Also, I don't like Bruno on the right. I've said this before. It has been maybe some games where it's worked, but it doesn't work if we start off. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a reach, but this is just my analysis and what I've been noticing. Whenever we start off with Bruno on the right, it doesn't work. If we move him, let's say we have him on the middle at the beginning, and then we move him onto the right, second half sometime then that can be a bit better tactically. But don't start him on off the bat on the right because he won't you won't get the best of him. Mount did, not the best game. I felt like the Arsenal game he looked better. This game, I don't know, a little bit sloppy here and there. Eriksen when he came in as um Kobe Maino's replacement, he way too sloppy, looked very tired. Bless his heart. I still do think he's an asset. It's just about more so figuring it out. I think when he has much more of a deeper role, it doesn't work. Casemiro, look good here and there with, being that short, taking the ball back. But the problem is that when we first get the ball, we can't keep the ball for long enough time. When in transition, Real Madrid is probably one of the best transition teams there are in the world. They're so quick with it. And when we sometimes be trying to progress the ball forward, it can be a bit too slow in a way. I feel like we're better when we're trying to be like one, two touch, but when we do, it has to be precise. And like I said, even though Nana did, it was some scrappy howls here and there. There were also some other moments where, good with the ball, with his feet and whatnot. But hey, we all knew this. At the end of the day, he got to figure out the game, what we're doing, and the other players got to figure him out as well. And there will be mistakes. There will be mistakes. There will be recklessness happening here and there. But he also did have some good saves as well, for sure. One really good save, I think, before Joselu got his overhead kick. It was a save with Onana's feet that he was able to do so. But man of the match for me, Wan-Bissaka. Wow. What else is it to point out? I think that's kind of the overall thought. I mean, next game is going to be against Dortmund on technically Sunday, but it's going to be Monday night at least here, or Monday morning here in Norway. I'm actually going to be back at work that day, so I won't be able to do watch long, but I try to at least see if I can get the highlights and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's kind of my you know, overarching thoughts about the game and whatnot. But do let me know what your thoughts are about the game and the overall performance. And make sure you, of course, give this video here a big thumbs up, as well as subscribing if you haven't already. I'll be back with a watch along on Saturday for Women's World Cup, France versus Brazil, and then on the following Sunday, Norway versus Philippines. So lots of content coming up. We might do some transfer shows here and there if anything breaks, at least regarding Man United. But until then, have a lovely time wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Bye bye.